If you're reading this, there's still bodies in the bathroom. Thanksgiving break was well within our reach. We were closer to freedom, closer to Bianca Banks' party. The only thing standing in Michael and I's way was world history. Usually I enjoyed Mrs. Rosenhart's class. Just not that fateful Tuesday. The last day at Georgia Southwestern State University before our Turkey Day sabbatical. I intended a suitcase school, like a bland commuter town. We had no culture, no campus spirit. I mean, yeah, America's was awesome. Rich history located everywhere from the Haunted Windsor Hotel to the notorious Andersonville Civil War prison site. But GSW only attracted disinterested students and mercenary professors. The school's administration dominated by local bloodline. So needless to say, Michael and I were gonna be two of the few losers left behind during the break. But tonight, Bianca was having her party for us student stranglers. She even rented a cabin down by the campus lake. In class, Mrs. Rosenthal went through the motions. Behind the stringy red hair and wire-round glasses, she trucked on. Her lecture, nothing more than an exploration of Thanksgiving history. Miss Rosenthal's audience was depleted. As expected, our suitcase school, while on display in his nearly empty classroom. To our relief, she released us 20 minutes early. Miss Rosenthal looked happier than the rest of us. "Happy Thanksgiving!" she shouted with glee. In the hallway, the smell of wheat followed us from her room. Apparently, Miss Rosenthal had beaten us to the party. Together, Michael and I rushed down the cold bottom floor. Whatever souls remained in the history building hauled us outside. Through the windows, I could see them heading straight to the cars, off into the dark night. Of course, Michael and I had our own exciting plans in store. We had a week with friends, a week to make this campus our bitch. Michael was the more conventionally handsome of us two. Beneath the flowing brown hair, he possessed a cool, laid-back demeanor. Not quite tall enough to be a jock, but Michael had the sizzled, thick physique to reel in the sorority girls, striking eyes and a sense of humor to spare. On the other hand, Ricky Harris was socially awkward, more of the introverted English type, rather than Michael's outspoken poli-science background. I was a handsome young black guy, scrawny, and always wearing a type of jeans and button-ups, and make a 90s slacker jealous. My short buzz cut and hollow cheekbones helped by a smooth smile. Still, I was just fucking uncomfortable around crowds and parties, especially around people I didn't know, unless I was drunk. And tonight, all of us 20-year-olds were gonna be absolutely shit-faced. For Loco City, here we come. In the hallway, Officer Myers walked past us. The beer-bellied campus patrol cop was making his dull department rounds, for once ignoring the vending machines. Judging by his impressive physique, Officer Myers had to be a lifter in a mall cop game, but he was pretty chill and never bothered us. His steely blue eyes faced Michael and I. "Enjoy the break, boys." "Yes, sir," was Michael and I's simultaneous replies. As we got closer to the front glass doors, I saw how empty each passing classroom was. The doors were all locked, the lights out. Like an emergency evacuation had taken place. Everyone eager to get the fuck away from the little campus. A strong grip stopped me. Michael pointed towards the bathroom. "Yo, hold on, bro," cried his southern accent. Annoyed, I looked over at the front doors. Even from here, I could spot the tall trees, the murky lake, and a nature trail. Our path to the party. "Come on, man," Michael continued. The bathroom door slammed shut behind us. Up above, motion sensor lights flickered on. There were no windows, and only one mirror. The bathroom floor grimy and decorated with the occasional dead cockroach. Like shackles along the dungeon walls, 2 urinals and 3 stalls lined up towards the back. Moving quick, Michael took off for the first stall, threw his notebook into the sink. "Hey, try to be quick," I told him. "You too," he quipped. I watched him jump inside the stall, pray to be one of his quicker shits. Smirking, I walked up to the urinal, with no one else around. I felt at ease, enough to force a piss. Then I heard a quick shuffle, a quick flurry of footsteps. My gaze went to the first stall, but all I saw were Michael's Nikes. At least I had no extensive farting, smelt no extensive stench. "You know any of the girls at the party?" I hollered out. "Duh, bro," he yelled back. Chuckling, I walked up to the sink. "I'll be outside, man," I said. I stood in the dark hallway for what felt like a decade, the longest 2 minutes of my life. The tension made even worse by the lingering appeal of Bianca's party, the amusement park of malt liquor and sexy coots Michael and I were missing. Shivering, I glanced around the century-old history building. The cool air tormented me, as did the quiet stillness. No one was around. For once, I had nothing. No lectures, no chattering students. Growing uneasy, I checked my phone. 7:45. Not only was this the last class of the night, but Michael and I were apparently the last students anywhere near the academic building. Without many students, the suitcase school looked abandoned, haunted, just like the entire city probably did. Anxiety made me pace up and down the hall. I checked the front doors, saw the frigid fall night awaiting us. A soulless night, judging by the empty parking lot and GSW's broken streetlights. Off in the distance, I could see vague light. The intimate cabin crowd was already gathering by the lake, Bianca's party. Fuck, I muttered. "Come on, Michael," I sent through a text. I saw my last 3 messages were read and ignored by Michael. Fuck, we had a party to get to. I canoed straight towards the bathroom, opened it in one quick push. "Hey, Michael!" I yelled. I entered darkness. Heard the door crash close behind me. Startled, I whirled around, panicking. Then the overhead lights finally flickered on a cryptic fashion. Adrenaline joined my agonizing anxiety. I looked over at the first star. Son Michael's Nike still there. "Come on, Michael, let's go," I said, an uneasy chuckle escaping my lips. "Stop shitting!" But I got no reply, not even a flush. Michael's feet never moved. Still holding the phone, I approached his stall. More nervous than a soldier confronting the battlefield. "Michael?" Silence stayed in the air. No words from Michael. Cautious, I reached towards the wooden stall door. "Come on, man, let's go!" My phone burst to life, scaring the shit out of me. Michael's text dominated the screen. "Open the door, Rick. I'm ready." Nothing seems right. Not one single word. My gut twisted in knots. The shivering grew worse. I faced that goddamn stall. "Hey, this ain't funny, asshole," I said. I reached for the handle once more. "I hate when you do this shit." In a painful creak, the door swung open on its own. A slow, eerie reveal. I stood there, motionless, unable to move even when a full stench hit me. Fear flowed through my veins. Finally, the door slammed into the wall. This open curtain showed buckets of blood, red paint, redecorating the decades-old graffiti. There was my best friend, still plopped down on the toilet, still with a thin slice of toilet paper covering the toilet sensor. Michael's pants and boxes were down, his mouth open, forever silenced by a rugged, long cut running along his throat. A crimson trail spread from ear to ear. Blood plastered over Michael's slit throat. The multiple slices and gashes on his arms and chest leaked blood. An overflow of gore and shit clogged the toilet bowl. I stared on Michael's gorgeous dead eyes, horrified beyond disbelief. "No, Michael!" I said through the forming of tears. A sudden vibration jolted me. I checked my phone. "I told you I'm ready," read Michael's latest text. Another message arrived. This one a picture. On screen, a horse-head mask stared back at me. The mask, black and ominous. The horse's big teeth taunting me. Its carved eye sockets showed off a pair of evil glaring eyes. Rather than amping me up for the party, a sight sent chills down my spine. The dim light and the scribbled graffiti made the horse's face location obvious, and I had no doubt where Michael's killer was. An explosion, the second star burst open. A black figure emerged. I was too scared to react, too scared to even scream. Like a vampire, descending from the darkness, horse face charged at me, disguised in a black hoodie and black jeans. They were death incarnate. The gloved hand wielding a long knife, crimson, constantly dripping off the blade. The killer, a black beauty, out for blood. "Oh, fuck!" I yelled. The murderer's strong shove sent me straight into the first stop. Straight into Michael. Stumbling back, I dropped my phone. Upon impact, Michael's corpse fell on the floor. His flaccid dick still out. Shit and blood still flowing from his ass. Michael, a dead body, well beyond desecration. Horrified, I leaned against the toilet, battling the tears, battling the building horror within me. A piece of toilet paper fluttered down beside me, the piece soaking straight into the red puddle. Turning, I looked on the masked killer. They stood there in the doorway, the blood-stained blade marking me. A huge growl erupted, water splashed all over me. Red water, brown water, yellow. God damn, it stank! Disgusted, I faced the toilet. Realized There was nothing covering the sensor. Before I could cuss, the whirlpool sent more of my friends' shit, blood, and piss in my face, over and over. Like a dying animal, the toilet hauled through the room. Its flushes never ending, the bowl clogged beyond belief. The messy water splashed over the floor, over Michael's body. I spit out soggy brown debris, sewage and slaughter soaked through my clothes. Oh God! I yelled, simultaneously sad and angry. I looked at my friend's pale face. What the fuck, Michael? A furious grip and snarled the back of my neck. The killer's gloved hand squeezed tight. Cringing, I closed my eyes. The trills of flushes bled through my brain, all while the bloody turds kept pelting my face. Let go of me! I screamed. In a sadistic answer, the murderer jammed my face straight into the toilet's murky depths. Mouthful of shit, smuggler bolts sickened me, but I was too far underwater to puke, too deep to escape. I felt blood stick to my skin, piss enter my nose. I was drowning in Horseface's disgusting concoction. In Michael's leftovers. The flushes continued, unrelenting and holding me underwater. Through the metal lever, I saw Horseface lean towards me. The gloved hand raised the blade triumphantly. My adrenaline kicked in, not to mention fright and anger. I acted quick, throwing my elbow straight into that fucking snout. The mask, an easy target. Groaning, the killer staggered back towards the sink. I emerged from the depths, gasping for breath. As I were a swimmer fresh of victory lap. Behind me, I heard footsteps kicking through the puddles. The fight wasn't over. I snatched my glasses from the tall bowl and swiped literal shit off my lens. Struggling to see, I stumbled to my feet, felt the toilet kick up more gore on my jeans. Out of the corner of my eye, I saw Horseface push themselves away from the sink, their knife at the ready. Determined, I rushed out of the stall, almost slipping with every step on the fluted floor. Michael's piss now mixed in with my tears. Fuck you! I hurled at the killer. With a trembling hand, I reached for the bathroom door. Another furious push hit me. I fell against the wall, right by the urinals. I confronted Horseface. That unforgiving glare stared at me, as did a fucking sharp knife. Go to hell! I screamed at them. Much to my horror, the murderous movements only grew more motivated. Faster, angrier. I stood there, helpless, terrified as I watched Horseface stop in front of me. In a vicious stance, they drew their weapon back for a fatal strike. Then the bathroom door slammed open. Startled, the killer and I both looked towards it. My execution momentarily delayed. A skinny black janitor rushed inside. He had fire in his eyes, sweat soaked through the brown uniform. Like a wild preacher, he pointed right at us. Now, what the hell's going on in here? He yelled in a voice, fueled by hellfire and brimstone. Relief hit me. I could even see the murderer get nervous. The janitor motioned towards the floor, towards the ocean of blood and piss. Now I just cleaned that shit! He shouted. But he got quiet once he saw the knife. The scary sight eroded the janitor's toughness. I bolted for the door, with brute force, Horseface swatted me back to the urinals. "You motherfucker!" I heard the janitor yell. I planted straight into the first urinal. Its deodorized block did little to soothe the fall. A black lock of even smellier urine splashed across my face and glasses. A fresh yellow coat for my red wall paint. "God damn it!" I screamed. Straining, I tried to pull myself up, hit the lever instead, and a gross encore, more piss, sprayed across me. Through the nausea, I realized some of it was my own. Then I heard a struggle, frantic footsteps kicking up puddles, the janitor's anguished cries. I turned and spit out urine. Saw Horseface wrap an arm around the man's throat. "No!" the janitor cried. The killer plunged a knife into his chest. Their struggle silenced in one step. A bullseye right into the janitor's heart. Like a broken falset, blood streamed out of the janitor's mouth. His soulful gaze faced me. The man with no chance at escape, no chance at life. His hand reached towards me. Crimson covered the brown uniform in seconds, covered the floor. More gore the janitor would never get to clean. Quivering, I shook piss off my glasses, felt the killer's glare fixate on me. Only the first toilet, frantic flushing, cut through the tension. I made my move right there and then, battling my despair and disgust. I took off for the door, my speed clumsily and sloppy, but I was focused, determined. Acting fast, the killer yanked out a knife, and a cold flourish. They threw down the janitor's corpse. His body collided into a red sea. The man's wound, an open dam offering more crimson water. I glanced over to see a horse coming charging after me. The footsteps at a swift gallop. "Oh shit!" I cried. Gaining ground, Horseface held up the knife, eager to make the Thanksgiving turkey. Right when I reached the door, it swung open. Officer Myers jumped in, his pepper spray at the ready, Cheeto dust all over his mouth. "What's going on in here?" he said in a shaky voice. Panicking, I grabbed his shoulder. "Help us!" I pleaded. "He's crazy!" But Officer Myers' inexperience showed in his ineffectiveness. His reflexes were too slow. His trembling hand struggled to hold the pepper spray canister. Stage fright paralyzed him in the scariest moment of his career. Like a predator, sensing weakness, Horseface glided forward, their steps so confident. "Do something!" I shouted at Officer Myers. He had several seconds, but all Officer Myers' fearful face could do was to look at the Horseface mask. The killer jammed the knife straight up under his chin. Officer Myers' head tilted back. His mouth moved but couldn't muster words. His blue eyes, unable to look anywhere but up, held in place by the blade. Myers' body convulsed. Blood oozed out of the wound. The cop's weak hand finally dropped the canister. His gruesome epileptic seizure lost him into death. I seized the moment with a battle cry. I pushed open the bathroom door. One quick glance back showed Horseface glaring at me, the gloved hand tucked on the knife over and over. The blade, a sword, stuck deep in Officer Milestone's head. Behind the mask, Horseface professionally followed me. But I didn't slow down. Feeling confident, I rushed into the freezing hallway. Saw no one around me. The windows showed nothing but blackness. There wasn't a soul in sight, except for the college congregation down by the lake, Bianca's party. My only hope. My only shot at survival. I made my way to the front doors, braced for my hypothermia once that brutal wind hit my soaked clothes. Then I heard the bathroom door burst open, heard those ferocious footsteps coming for me. The wild horseman was back on the prowl. Shivering, I pushed open the glass door. The America's Derby was on. The track, a half-mile to the cabin. The stakes. My life. Thank you all so much for listening to tonight's story. Now I'd like to take a moment to thank all of my Patreons who helped make this channel possible. Thank you, Breaker19, for all your help and support. You guys are amazing.